Amongst the experienced volunteers working for the welfare of the equines is Adam Sheriston, the horse whisperer. A very good morning to you. It's amazing to meet you, to be honest with you, because there's so much going on about the whispering, the horseman that comes to these places and does these demonstrations. I know you're here at the Easy Horse Care Centre doing a demonstration, but myself and I'm sure a lot of people out there would love to know how you actually got into it.
Well, I guess the first thing, or the main thing that put me into the horse whispering is years ago I had an experience which is a spiritual term known as a kundalini.
Right.
And I used to be just one of the lads, worked from Monday through to Friday in construction. And
that's very different, construction to horse whispering.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Amazing.
I mean, life's been a 360-degree
Yeah.
shift. And what happened is I started to question life. Okay, what is it all about? We're born, we die. What's the point?
Which we all do every now and again, don't we?
Yeah.
We all sort of think back and say, well, you know, what is this all about, sort of thing. So that's fantastic. So from obviously having this experience, it sort of changed your life slightly, did it?
Yeah, absolutely, 360 degrees. You know, working from Monday through to Friday, and so after questioning about my life, I instead of doing an external search, you know, most of us will do an external search for whatever it is we want out of life.
Yeah.
Okay, and the big
Material things, maybe.
Material things, relationships, the bigger houses, the
Yeah.
careers, but it's all external. It's a constant chase in life.
Yeah.
Okay, you're constantly chasing your tail, you know, before, and we never turn around and go, okay, but why do we want this?
Exactly.
Okay, so they're the questions that I started to look at, and so instead of doing that external search, I went internally.
Internally, and by you meaning or saying internally, explain to me what actually the internal search means.
Well, the internal search for me is to find out who I am.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Why I think what I think.
Yeah.
When I think what I think, how does that make me feel?
Right. So taking sort of like yourself out of yourself and looking internally at yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So instead of thinking, okay, well, this experience that's happening on the outside of me is making me feel like this inside.
Right.
Why can I make the experience that I want to make inside, which will then dictate how I feel about it.
How you feel.
Okay.
So from that, obviously, because obviously we are talking about horse whispering here, you became a hands-on healer. Is that right?
Yeah. When I went through that experience of the kundalini, that kind of opened my awareness.
Right.
And with that experience, I started to become real sensitive.
Oh, right.
I was sensitive to people's thoughts, people's feelings, and the healing, the hands-on healing side.
Spiritually sensitive.
Spiritually sensitive.
Amazing.
Sensitive. Okay, I mean, everybody's sensitive, but some people are more sensitive than
Absolutely.
others.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think what life does is kind of dulls us out.
Yeah.
Okay, because we don't need to use our gut instinct, our instinct, and our feelings so much, because we're responding pretty much by our five senses.
Exactly.
Okay? We're responding by visually, we're responding on what we're hearing.
And 99.9% of people do that, don't they?
We do that, absolutely.
There's, you know, on a daily basis, I can honestly say that I do anything but that. You know, you work to your 9 to 5, you do what you do, that's it. There's no sort of like taking yourself out of that situation, which is what you've done, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is amazing. So from that, then obviously, you know, hands-on healing, how did you get to working with horses or animals? Because you actually worked with people for a while, didn't you?
Yeah, I worked with people because the reason I worked with people is, one, I wanted to see if it was real. I did it for about 18 months for nothing. I didn't charge anything.
That's amazing.
Because I wanted to, one, see if
So
it
this
was real.
obviously proves how much you love what you do, and how obviously important it is to you.
Yeah, this is it. This is the thing. Now, I don't chase for material wealth. I just, you know, if I'm kicking about with the horses, that's where my path's leading.
Right.
And so I did with the people to get feedback.
Right.
Okay, with the healing, and with that I used to do psychic readings and mediumship, if you're familiar with mediumship.
Right, yeah,
okay,
so the psychics and the sort of hands-on healing all sort of works in unison together,
yeah,
really.
It's all part of one parcel, really. And like I say, within the years ago, I was the biggest skeptic out there.
Really? Were you?
Yeah, I was, because I didn't have any awareness of that. I didn't know anybody who was into this sort of thing. So when you go from one step,
there will be people that will sit back and say, I'm not quite sure about that, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there who don't actually believe in spiritual and things like that. But you know, by talking to people, the stuff you've done with people and healing them has worked.
Yeah, well, this is the thing with belief patterns that everybody has. The only way you can fully believe in something is if you've experienced it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't go build a belief pattern by something that you've read or something that somebody's told you.
It's got to work.
It's got to have happened inside of you, you know. And that's why I strongly believe in it, because I've experienced it, that side of things. So then I was doing the healing with the people, and then, you know, when I was getting the results with those, I started to work with, they were asking me, will you work with my dog, or have a go with my cat, or
and what
whatever.
would happen if they brought you a cat, say for instance, and they say, look, there's something wrong with the cat, I can't tell you what it is, I don't know, she can't talk to me, there's my cat, can you find out what's wrong? What would you do, and how would you find out there was something wrong with them?
Well, first, when I come get close to another energy, whether it's a person or an animal, I kind of mirror it.
Right.
So I become that, like with the horses now, or with the cat, I would become that cat.
Right.
So physical feelings I would feel within me.
So you'd feel that animal's pain?
Yeah, like if it's had ulcers in its stomach, then maybe my stomach would start to flare.
How amazing.
Inflame. If it had a problem in its leg, then I'd start to feel discomfort in my leg.
So you would be able to basically diagnose the problem.
It wouldn't
with the
be
animal.
the case of diagnosing it, because it wouldn't always be the case that I would know what the problem was.
Exactly, yeah.
I could give
rough,
an area.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is what I'm feeling with
Yeah.
this cat, and so with the sensitivities that I'd learnt about with the people, I started to figure that I was getting sensitive to animals.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And and then of course there would have been the first horse to a friend. Okay, I've got a horse that's got a problem. Same thing. I'd go into the energy field, work with the horse for a minute, be around it and start to mirror that horse and go, okay, well, I'm feeling this in this area, or that's hurting in that area.
Just for instance, that I know that you're able to help animals. Now, there's quite a few animals here at the Easy Horse Care Centre. Name a couple of horses you've actually helped and worked with here at the Easy Horse Care Centre.
Well, there's a horse that came in called Hope. I mean, I've worked with pretty much
most of them
yeah. Here. The ones that can be worked. There's obviously some like Luna here just behind us, who struggles even just moving, and there's some undernourished horses.
They've obviously been badly treated
they just
before.
need to build themselves up before. But most of them that I've worked with, Lucero, which I'll be doing part of a demonstration with shortly, he's got one eye. So with the helping of them, I mean, I focus a lot on the training side of things now. When I'm training horses, because of those sensitivity levels, if there's a physical problem with that horse that it can't perform what I'm asking it to perform,
right,
then I have a heads up to say, okay, well, this is the problem here, because with the experience now, I know the horses will give you anything.
Yeah, it's all down to trust, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, absolutely. If they can, and if they understand what it is you're asking, they'll do almost anything. So when they're not, then we have to. It's like how a person responds. It's how we
feel.
What we do, how we feel and what we do will dictate how something responds to us.
Right, and if it's not working properly, then there's a problem.
Yeah, and this is.
Well, it's absolutely amazing to meet you, I have to say, and I'm very much looking forward to the demonstration a little bit later on. It's been an absolute pleasure, and to find out your background has meant tons to me, because a lot of people out there don't realise things like that, and an absolute inspiration. Thank you very much, Adam.
No, well, thank you. Thank you.
After the break, meet Cookie, Bronson and Luna, and why this is such a great place to support and visit.